Hello everyone. Excuse me. Let me make sure I've got my microphone in the right place. Hello, hello. I hope you are well. I am so sorry. I just saw in the comments, Linda, I'm so sorry about your son. I really just sending positive energy and just love and light and also I also don't always catch what's going on in the chat until I go back and read. So I just wanted to also, I know there's some other people who've been hurting, and I really just want to send you all really, really loving energy, just overflowing, just positive, divine, bright, loving energy. So, and I apologize for if I've missed, for what I've missed. So I'm sorry about that. Hello, everyone. All right. Try to pull myself together here. Oh gosh, that's hard. That's hard. All right. I got a couple of things on my mind, and I have something I would like to discuss a little bit later about it, kind of what's going on the right, and with Trump and religion on that side. But I don't want to, you know, the number one thing I'm trying to do on this channel is help people sleep better at night, help people feel like, okay, we can get through this. And got my notebook, and I have places to write things here, so we can cover things that you want to cover. More positive days are coming. They are. I promise. They are. We didn't start the fire. To quote Billy Joel. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Okay. Roger Stone case. Yeah, I was figuring that would be looking at Trump corruption, Barr corruption today. So I'm just quickly having a look at your questions. And if anybody's watching this on playback, do join at noon Central Time if you can, every once in a while, and I'll see if I can answer your questions. Oh goodness, there's a lot of people suffering out there today. Especially today, it's apparently hitting our community here. Am I streaming from my cell phone? No, it's an iPad. Okay, but okay, all right. So we've got some questions on. I have to figure out the wording on Barr. But one good question is the China factory shutdowns or disruptions. Effect. And we'll look at that. And yeah, this thing about Barr. I believe, is it Schumer? No, it wouldn't be Schumer. No, judicial head of the isn't Schiff isn't he head of the Intelligence Committee in the House, and Nadler's in charge of the Judicial Committee? Because someone's talking about opening up a probe, but I only saw the headlines. I didn't get down into the article yet. Of investigation. Barr. Let's say oversight investigations. How those will go. Okay. Nadler. Okay, good. Nadler is Nadler's House Judiciary. Okay. Downturn in the global economy. All right, global economy. I'll look at that. Economy. And Kathy, I oddly enjoyed the shouting match. Okay. Downturn global economy, I've got that one. Indoor cat. Oh, cancer diagnosis, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Teresa, I'm so sorry about hear about your sister. Will they go after Barr? Well, there's already talk that there's going to be there's already talk about the Democrats opening an investigation into what happened. So that's one of the things I'm looking at. Will Barr be disbarred? Well, the question is, even if he was disbarred, would Trump still just say, no, he's Attorney General and he's confirmed, so. The astrology update, that is coming. I actually had a slightly different astrology thing I wanted to cover a little bit later. Will the military get even with Trump? No. I've read on that before, Mary, and yeah, the military, they're not going to turn against the president. They're not. They may drag their feet on certain things, but they're that would lead to huge repercussions. Barr should have been removed a long time ago, yes. When will the first domino fall that causes Trump's downfall? Bismo, it already has. And I think it was Y-Baby who wisely said, it's going to take all 10 swords to bring Trump down. That 10 of swords cup that comes up all the time, the guy lying on the ground with all the swords in his back, it's a metaphor. We want no violence. But it's going to take, it's going to just keep going. He will come down, but it's already started. Any other virus coming? I'm not feeling that one, like that I really need to cover that today. So I'm Aries Rainbow Child. I may look at that on a different day. Sorry. Can he be disbarred by his wherever he has his state license? I'm sure he could be. What will the House do to protect us? Okay. All right. This will definitely cover the next 45 minutes. What will House do to protect us? All right. It's feeling like a Housewives Tarot day. I'll do this. Oh, and someone's mother had a bad diagnosis. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry everyone's so ill and hurt. But I'm just gonna, I hope you don't think I'm being callous here. I just want to go through get through these political readings. So it's kind of what I'm here to do. Help people sleep better at night. Oh. Oh, goodness. That went flying. Ace of Swords. Investigations, but also getting the metaphorical swords out. So yeah, we're gonna start with this stuff about Barr. The Barr Oversight investigation. Wow, cards falling out. Maybe I'm just being clumsy, but goodness. All right, Barr Oversight investigations. Trying to do oversight on Darth Barr. There are always two, or in Trump's case, more than two, because they're all pretty awful. Investigations into Barr. Just disgust. It isn't even like yelling anymore at people because you're so angry. It's just standing there, just like, you're just so awful. I'm just going to stand here with my arms crossed. People in the Department of Justice, people in the House, just looking at Barr, like, really. He does have plans everywhere. Yeah, he has lots of people. He has lots of spies. The Republicans have done a lot to put some firm roots in the ground for their power in Washington, D.C. Even after losing the House, they decided this is what they're going to do, and it's because they're sticking together, and it's because they are not allowing any question of anything, that they're able to keep the power that they currently have. Yay. All right. Investigations into Barr. In the past, he's been cleaning up after Trump. We know that. Oh. Okay. Yep. Got Barr's energy. I'm starting to itch. I do that when I get that astral, icky, gunky. Yeah. Center of the reading. Yeah, making moon eyes at Trump. Base of the reading. I can stab people in the back. I can do what I want. I can undercut people. I can, yeah, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I get swords. Maybe it's because swords are often the sign of communication. I get swords for a lot of legal stuff. And, law is a lot of, there's definitely law enforcement, which is more wands, but the legal side of it is more, I get swords. And that's what this is. That's Barr's absolute power corrupting absolutely. Above the reading, the Republican Party dropped their burden. Trump can do what he wants. Near future. Oh, well, people are upset. People are very, very upset. People are, having to sleep with Prince Valium to sleep at night. And Ten of Swords. This is seriously one of the swords going into Trump's political back. Home environment. Yeah, he's got all the strength he wants because they acquitted Trump. And they said he can do what he wants. And Barr's just like, okay, that's what Barr believes, down to his, from the base of his feet to the tip of his pointy head. well, potato head. Hopes and fears. Yeah, this is just going off the rails. This feels like somebody has taken this mixer and just like run it up to, you know, the highest setting, and this stuff is just starting to fall out. Just go blasting out the sides of stuff, you know, covering the kitchen, making a huge mess. What we see, the party's out of control. Party out of control. Final outcome for these investigations. They don't have good arguments he doesn't have good arguments to justify this. None of the Republicans do. We've had enough. With cups, Democrats, we've had enough. 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 And then you just hand us more. And they're Barr and people who would defend Barr, it's nitpicking, cherry picking, cutting things to fit their own thing. And then it's trying to make an argument how this is going to fit on that, which you can't get there from here, but they'll just like Trump, they'll just lie to your face, or they'll just make arguments that are pointless. And what can you do about it? What can you do? So until we reach a point where, you know, they can, you get to a point where you get to somebody in the government who has political teeth. An investigation into Trump. Is it going to do any good? Okay, I'm being drawn to this card too. Oh, Trump just, the fool being the fool. Fool gonna fool. Cleaning up after Trump. It is disgusting. There's something particularly nasty and disgusting about this card today. And the Republicans getting, I get frustrated. I'll admit, I get frustrated. Doesn't mean I'm going to give up. Doesn't mean I'm not going to show up. Doesn't mean I'm not going to be here every day. Doesn't mean there aren't good days ahead, because there are. There are good days ahead. There are. McConnell, twisting everything. Republicans lining up. America being like, what the heck? But this is the particularly nasty thing Barr's doing. But he has the fool's backing. So even though America's like, what? I wonder if you can't actually remove Barr without, because the Senate confirmed him, I wonder if it's only the Senate that can impeach him. I don't know if that's true, but that's it. It's them twisting things. Well, that doesn't look good. Will he be disbarred? Will Barr be disbarred? That's an option. The toilet fits this whole admin to a T. Yes, Bismo, I'm with you on that one. Will he be disbarred? Because that would be a state thing. That would be the state law board, whatever it's called, isn't it? Yeah. What is Orange Mango's biggest fear? Being laughed at, and it being said that he doesn't have as much money, or he doesn't have money, as much money as he thinks. Okay, so will Barr be disbarred in his own state? I don't even know. Will the House investigate Barr? Let's go back to that. Will they even investigate Barr? Feels like yes, but it's just like we're going to investigate it and they're going to make stupid, yeah, they're going to make stupid arguments, and you can almost just see the look on Nadler's face and the other Democrats, just like, really? There's a joke I ran across online. Someone was joking around, and they said if the expression, if you guys have seen any of the Avengers movies and Captain America, how Captain America is actually he's actually from the 40s, obviously. I mean, that's kind of his thing. He fought the Nazis, and he was in ICE for many, many years, and then he's in modern day. And so all this stuff is happening, and he's looking around, and and some of this stuff, he's like, okay, I'm trying to keep up with society, but some of it's just like, that's what we're doing, that's what's going on. And someone pointed out that Captain America's expression in a lot of the, certainly earlier Avengers movies, in modern day, he had a look on his face quite often like, he was a single father of 5 kids, and he had seen it all. Like, aliens, huh? You're going to go with aliens on the... Okay. That's the expression. Like a single father of 5 kids. Uh-huh. Yeah. You're going to go with that. Okay. Wheel of Fortune, Queen of Swords, that's usually an investigation card. Yeah, because there are bigger forces here of TikTok. And who, like, as I often say, TikTok Trumpy. His things against Trump. And this is investigators in the House trying to do something about it, and the Democratic constituent base absolutely wants them to do something about it. But this is a card of action, but it's not a Knight of Wands. It's not a King of Wands. It's a Page of Wands. So, meanwhile, you've got Caligula in the White House, and you have the Republicans making money off of all of this. Things are going to get better. They're just not going, they may not get better for a while, is the problem. But that doesn't mean, that just means we have to keep fighting. We have to keep speaking out. This is hurting Trump. It doesn't seem like it is. It seems like an intractable problem. But all of these people eventually have to go up in front of the voters, and not everywhere is Fox News watching super red areas. People will be held accountable for things they've done, and voters will decide. So like I said, it's going to be frustrating for a while. It just is. Okay, but here, let me have a look. Will Barr be disbarred by what I assume would be his state? If someone corrected me and I missed it, sorry about that, but I'm guessing the state bar? The state, I could say you're done. Will Barr be disbarred? Whoa. Somehow the way the cards feel like they're sticking together or falling out or falling apart or whatever, can often tell me something. This feels like it's almost like these different bits are glued together. I wonder what that's about. It's like the different sections are glued. I'm sure that means something, but I can't. Come on, work with me here. Will Barr be disbarred? Oh, yep, face is itching. Will Barr be disbarred? Because that has nothing to do with Trump. It has nothing to do, to the best of my knowledge, has nothing to do with federal anything. And if Barr is disbarred, in theory, he shouldn't be able to continue being Attorney General, but will Barr be disbarred? Oh, creepy crawly down the whole side of my head, my shoulder. Yuck. Party's out of control. Card of the day. In the past, he's always had Looney Tune ideas, just crazy ideas about laws, and like the idea that, you know, the, what is it, Unitarian executive, basically emperor. The president is emperor and can do anything he wants. Center of the reading is there going to be any even small measure of accountability and a move toward accountability, cleaning up? Base of the reading. There are definitely people who, in like the State Bar Association, is that who would make this decision, I want to say. But there are definitely people in the association who really don't like Barr. But at the same time, there are a lot of dyed-in-the-wool Republicans who also have that power, who they're like, I don't know if I want to, you know, get this involved, because it would be quite a shock. Barr not only smells bad, he's aura is jet black as well as smells. Linda? Yes, it is. He's a rotten, he's an evil potato. Like when a potato goes bad, that's yeah. Above the reading. Oh no, we have to be moderate. We have to be measured. We couldn't do that. That, you know, this idea of we're supposed to be the reasonable ones. And it's like, well, they're not. He's not being reasonable. Near future. Oh, that's a whole lot of calling in favor, Republicans calling in favors, whitewashing the situation, illusion, delusion, get people drunk, you know, wine and dine. No, you don't want to do that. You wouldn't want to do that. That's da. He'd have to be, is he an attorney in both DC and New York, having to be disbarred in both? Home environment. Well, the Republicans can see what's happening. They're not happy about it either, but are they going to, I wouldn't hold my breath about them doing anything. Hopes and fears. Just the sunlight is the best disinfectant. Let's put it that way. What we see, and again, this is because Senate Republicans dropped it. They just dropped the whole impeachment thing. Just acquitted him. Just burden, problems, nope, he's fine. He walks away. Final outcome, will Barr be disbarred? It's major arcana, at least. I wonder if he would be disbarred at one and not the other, or I don't know, but this feels like somebody takes some action. And it's like he loses some power somewhere. Unfortunately, he's still Attorney General. But this is the stronger card. This is him. Trump loves him. Republican, therefore, diehard Republican lawyers love him. That's unfortunately the strongest card. But there's some kind of century something something. Things are going to get better. We just have to be patient and just keep showing up and keep calling our representatives and keep speaking out. Just keep going. Keep going. All right. Will Barr use Disbarred? What will the House do to protect us? That's a good question. What will the House do to protect us? Positive thoughts. Yep. Positive energy. Will Nancy Pelosi release the information she has been stockpiling? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure she's been stockpiling per se. She definitely has information that she would use if, bingo, she would use if it was the right time. Is cut the cards, and that's what I got. What will the House do to protect us? What will the House of Representatives do to protect us? And democracy in general, which, as far as I'm concerned, is more important than any single one of us, for the simple reason that that's kind of what there are people out there who have died for our country, who are dying for our country. Democracy, freedom is not free. What will the House do to protect us? Anything they can. I'm getting that very strongly. Anything they can. Anything they possibly can, they will do. In the past, it was just all the Republicans all the time. And even after Democrats and Pelosi took over the House of Representatives, it's still Republicans have the presidency and the Senate. Again, center of the reading. It's like the Republicans are having a moral sit-in. Or it's just, no, we're just an immoral sit-in. It's like, oh, we're going to break laws. We're just going to do it out here in the open. We're just going to sit here with our pipe and slippers and put our feet up. And we're just going to sit here and break the law. Yeah, and we're going to let other people break the law as long as they're Republican. Base of the reading. But we voters have given Democrats strength. And we give them strength every time we contact them and praise them for fighting. Praise those who are fighting. That gives them a lot of, when they get demoralized, when they feel down, because they do. Above the reading, there is so much to go after Trump for. It's, throw a rock. There's so much. Near future. This is definitely Democratic politicians throwing some knives, political knives. This is definitely them taking action. And the political pointy end of action. So this is them. It doesn't say exactly what they're doing, but this is definitely, they're doing something there. Home environment, yeah. Because card of the day, the Republican Party is out of control. Party out of control. And also, it's, as the Democrats, even though they have the House, they, in many respects, are also the party that does not have control. Party that is out of control. But the Republicans are definitely the party out of control right now. Hopes and fears. The fear is that they can't do enough. Okay, all right. What other people see? Yeah, there's so much to, it's, what do you even choose? What do you even start going after? Because there's so much. There's so much to choose from. So, are the Democrats in the House going to protect us? Yes. They are working very hard to stop this very dangerous sleeping with Prince Valium brat. Putting in a ton of effort. So, for what it's worth, the Democratic lawmakers and committee heads and what have you in the House, it feels very strongly they're not giving up. They're not, they feel like they are in a moment of history, and they will keep fighting. So there is that. A quick few cards on, will the China factory disruptions affect supply chains really badly? China factory disruptions. How bad is that going to get to there? I'm being drawn to one card, then the other, then the first, then the other. What that says to me is there are some things we may just have to choose. People might have to choose their second favorite thing, or a similar thing to what they want. There's already it feels like there is already a lot of. There are stockpiles of things. There are warehouses of things. There are material things that are already being shipped, or not being shipped, in warehouses. There's a whole lot of stuff. Human beings, we've done really well on the whole stuff thing. And what I'm getting, the illness did its damage. The World Health Organization and what have you, they are fighting as best they can, and they'll work it out. There are going to be some laws put in place to hopefully stop this kind of thing from happening again. These two cards came out together. There will be a lot of pressure that things need to normalize now. Pressure on China, pressure on other places. China wanting to save face, that can get ugly. And then we've got temperance. So if there's going to be disruption, it feels like it will be minimal. That there's a lot of stuff already. There are a lot of stockpiles and warehouses and for things in general. As far as the global economy in 2020, and then I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the astrology, but also one of the religious leaders who is being talked about on Fox News about his prophecy for Trump. And he's apparently the guy behind Kanye's change in beliefs, and there might even be a Bieber connection. So, and it's not Paula, what's her name? So, but global economy in 2020. Okay, does not want to shuffle anymore. Fair enough. Global economy in 2020. Global economy. Besides being heavily manipulated, it's being heavily manipulated. Cutting corners. American, certainly, I'm specifically looking at America, but global economy does affect. But wages have not kept up with prices, and people having to cut corners, and it putting strain on marriages, and yeah, it's another reading. But there was corporate welfare out the wazoo. Thanks, Republicans. The base of the reading, it isn't just the way that the Republicans are protecting Trump actually makes a lot of the, it makes some of the most important Wall Street people happy, because it gives them stability, and it promises, at least in the short term, that regulations will still not be in place, that you can do whatever you want to the environment, and you can lie and cheat and steal, and you can, you know, all that stuff. And Trump wants to get rid of the Corrupt Foreign Practices Act. And above the reading, oh, yeah, and people with money do not want to give up their, they will do nasty things to not give up their advantages and their comforts and their supposed superiority. Your future. But Trump is going to Trump. The brat. Trump as the brat. And investigation, just everything under Barr, making everything haywire. Just, this is not a good look. And laws not being followed, and Trump cronies getting everything done for them rather than them going to jail. Oof, home environment. And the people who want the status quo and who are willing to do all kinds of really horrible things to make sure that happens, they're really afraid of Democrats coming back into power. Hopes and fears. Really afraid of Democrats coming back into power. And Knight is he moves, he does, he acts, he often has a horse. What other people see? More like right now it feels like a lack of justice, but actually what this feels like is when the Democrats get back into power, there being some justice. But right now, it's a shame I don't work with upside down cards, because somebody tells me that justice card would be upside down. Final outcome, global economy. They're going to keep saying it's what it is. It's not like I'm getting the tower here. If you go to Trump rallies, you watch Fox News, you actually believe the things like, oh, this is what inflation is doing. Everything's fine. Meanwhile, people are working 2 and 3 jobs, and they're really starting to lean toward the Democrats, because at least Democrats, in theory, care. I mean, that's from the voters' perspective. At least in theory, they care about what happens, that their cups are empty, that they're working so hard, and they don't want to hear about this. Oh, the economy's so great. Really? Really? So, but I'm not seeing the tower. I'm not seeing, I'm not seeing the worst of the worst of the worst. But there's all kind of stuff you can do to manipulate the economy, especially the global economy, because there is such immense inequality. What you end up with is that people who have money, they don't just have money, they have capital M money. And at this point, considering the fact that it's like 63 people in the world can control like half the wealth of the entire world. Last I heard, it was 63 people control half of the world's wealth. You get stuff like that. These people can manipulate a lot. All right, so that is all I'm going to read on today. But I did want to go over this other thing about this guy, because I find it sad and bizarre, and it has to do with Trump and Trump's the religious people around Trump and Fox News, because the original article was on Fox News. I am not okay. This doesn't. I'll fight with that later. I'm not one of those people who I only read. I only read Huffington Post and MSNBC, and no, I read widely. And so I'm going to spend the next 9 or 10 minutes. I want to talk about this, because I've also got this guy's. I pulled up the closest I can get to his astrology chart. At least some of the outer planets and things. The moon won't be quite right. The houses are definitely not right, but we can find out some interesting things. Okay, so there is this California pastor named Shawn Bolz. That is Shawn Bolz, if you've never seen him. And you watch Fox, so we don't have to. I occasionally see a little bit of Fox, but this is actually from the website. But this is Shawn Bolz, okay? And he's one of those charismatic pastors in LA, and he believes that people are hearing from God, and that you can talk directly to God. God can talk directly to you. And he points to believers in the spotlight, like Pence, former Governor Mike Huckabee, artist Justin Bieber, Kanye West, who claim to hear from God on a regular basis. He teaches on the prophetic and is hoping to make it mainstream and in every home. We are all, as humanity, wired to hear from God, both people who know Jesus and don't know Jesus. A lot of the way we hear him is through symbols, signs, and dreams, but we can hear him in many different ways. Now, if that was it, if that was the grand total, all right, fine, whatever. Sure, those are your beliefs, Who am I to question that? But, yes, do remember this is Fox News. And because we get to the point where, and he says sometimes he's wrong. He said most of his prophecies come true, but he's quick to admit, thank you, Deborah, but he's quick to admit he's been wrong at times. I told one family a diagnosis of a family member who had cancer and told them I thought God was going to bring healing, but she died a few months later. I took responsibility, he says. Sometimes we take risks. I wanted to take responsibility, to let them know they didn't do something wrong, he explains. It was on me and I'm still learning. Okay. Now you're getting into my wheelhouse. Because when I do these readings, as I say in the box beneath the videos, as I say all the time, no one is 100% right. No reader is 100% right. And when I have a serious question about something in my life, I will get a reading done by somebody. I will, and I'll pay for it, and I'll get a reading, and I will not live and die by what that person says. I will take that on as, say, the voice of a trusted friend kind of thing. Probably, take care, Linda, good luck, and good luck to your son. But, oh Lord, he took responsibility. Exactly, Deanna. It is one piece of information to take in. And then I look at the other things in my life and the situation, and I take it on board. But this thing about he prophesied that God would bring healing, but this poor woman died. It was on me, and I'm still learning that it's like, it's not on you. You're not God. We are all God. Has God got WhatsApp? Exactly, Ian. No, it doesn't work that way. We do the best we can. We read on the collective. We have guides. We do what we can. But setting yourself up as a prophet, I mean, unless, I don't know if any of you watched the TV show Supernatural, unless you can read the angel tablet, you're not a prophet. But anyway, no more so than anybody else. The Translating God author, it's the name of his book, uses his prophecy about Kanye West. Thank you. Sabila? Is that who that is? Thank you. He uses his prophecy. He prophesies that roughly 4 years ago, when West was hospitalized, suffering from a breakdown, Bolz publicly declared several times, "We aren't ready for the coming influx of new Christians. God showed me Kanye West as a prophet and a worship leader in Christianity." Okay. Bolz believes God is going to continue changing the Kardashian family. Sure. Okay, we'll just let that one go, because, you're going to prophesize about famous people. If anybody, wants prophecies about famous people, there's a YouTube channel by Shawn Lester. She was editor for Star Magazine for 10 plus years, and she knows a lot of celebrity gossip, and she has videos about what we can learn from dumb things that celebrities do. And she can kind of guess what's going to happen based on her just kind of knowledge about, human nature. Be warned if you do go watch her. She even calls herself a small N narcissist, and yeah, she's definitely got narcissistic traits. So she can be really cold-blooded, but she can also be funny. I understand why people like her videos. Anyway, technically, she's kind of a prophet. So if you want to know what's going on with celebrities and what's going to happen with celebrities, I'd go look at Shawn Lester before I'd listen to this guy. Oh, is it not focusing? Anyway, it gets better. Bolz has another high-profile prophecy about President Trump. Here we go. I felt like Trump was going to be president twice, and that he would have an encounter in his second term, more of an encounter for God and who he is and for his family. There's going to be more boldness in his second term, and it's going to be disruptive. But I think it's helpful because there are so many systems in place that are old and tired and need to be knocked down. The pastor said Trump will tackle immigration, finances, and tax issues that will be the markers of his presidency. He will be met with a lot of protests, but ultimately have a positive impact. After Trump took historic action moving the U.S. Embassy to Israel from Tel Aviv, the embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, Bolz said Trump is going to continue fighting for Israel and establishing more credibility for the Jewish state. So, and then we get to the, I believe, his ministries. He's talking about his own ministries, Bolz ministries. I believe we are about to be hit. There's going to be a wave of Christians and conservative people who feel empowered, where they've been marginalized or outside of discussions. There's been a war in the culture, and people are wanting to fight for that. So, anything else before I get to what I have to say here? One of the ways he's doing that is by hosting Translating God on TBN to teach people, the average person, how to really connect to God. And we've really tried to demystify the process. Cynthia, no, okay. Now, I shared all that with you. Let's discuss. First of all, I went and I don't know where he was born, and I don't know what time he was born, but his birthday and year is public knowledge. So when that happens, we're going to look at the astrology now. When that happens, you can run at least a basic chart. Let me make sure you can see this. You can run at least a basic chart on somebody, okay? And you just run it for noon. And so you have to ignore the houses, those wedges that things are in, because that's what shifts with the time. And also this moon could be anywhere in this area, okay? But most of this is like the sun conjunct Mercury here. That's going to be the same. Well, actually, it's not conjunct. It's over there. But if it was conjunct, so I'm saying these planets. Mars here is 2 degrees away from Saturn there in the sky. That's going to be the same. It might be in another part of the chart, but it's. Jim Dave, do you want me to find out for you, Autumn? I'll be honest with you. Not really. I hope I never have to think about this guy ever again as long as I live. But thank you. I appreciate the offer. But I did want to just look at this today. So when somebody, first of all, if somebody is this kind of Christian, and certainly with prophecy, not just being Christian, which is, Pisces is the symbol, it's the sign of Christianity. We're going into the age of Aquarius. But ages last about 2,000 years. It has to do with the wobble of the Earth and the spin and the constellation. Math. It's lots of math. But for 2,000 years, we've been in this age of Pisces. And if you think about it, it was when it was in Taurus, it was this idea, if things moved into Aries, it was, do not worship the golden calf. And then there were a lot of, but anyway, the important thing here, Pisces. Even the symbol for Christianity, Jesus was the fisher of men. You get the symbol, the fish symbol. You get, and this kind of mysticism. Okay, so whenever I'm dealing with somebody like this, first, well, when I look at a chart, the first thing I do is I want to see where their sun is. Okay, his sun is in practical Taurus, which can also be materialistic, but okay, practical, very practical. Okay, that's good. There are good and bad sides to every sign. Please don't think I'm picking on any one sign. I'm Scorpio. I'm Scorpio, and I could bore you to tears telling you every bad thing Scorpios can do that I hopefully don't do. His moon is either in Gemini, which is communications, which in being a public speaker, that would make sense, but it might be in Taurus, which might reinforce this, but this emphasis on Gemini here, that makes sense. Could be. But it's like, all right, the next thing I'm looking for someone like this, where's his Pisces? Okay, Pisces is over here. What does he have in Pisces? Well, he's got Venus. Okay, Venus is what and how you love. He also has Jupiter. Jupiter expands. Jupiter's luck. Jupiter it's where you're going to have luck, or you're more likely to have luck, but it also can be a big blowhard. The bad side of Jupiter is promising more than he can deliver. It can also be kind of Bacchus in nature. So, got a practical materialist impulse here. Possibly a need, an emotional need to communicate here, possibly. But you've definitely got Venus and Jupiter in Pisces. So it's like, okay, I can see that. That makes sense. And I wonder if the moon isn't that far off, because it is directly across from Neptune. Neptune rules Pisces. Neptune is the planet of, it can be great, like masterpieces of art, and rules art, film, expression, communication, fiction, but it can also rule, it rules, fog, mist, water, but it can also be poison, drugs, drink, can be mysticism. All the stuff that Saturn forms things and makes them solid, Neptune dissolves things. It's the immaterial. So his emotional needs might very well be across from Neptune, which is and so opposition, they're a seesaw. And as long as you are willing to accept that one side's going to be up, instead of them being flat, you get a thing where one of them can be raised higher, but it means that the other one has to be less. It can be hard in relationships if, like, your sun is opposite your partner's sun, because at some level you have to accept that when one of you are up, the other one's going to have to kind of go down a little bit as far as like the energy. So you're going to have to be happy for your partner, and then they're going to have to be happy for you, and back and forth and back and forth. And that can be hard. But if you can deal with it if you want to. But so this mysticism is great, may very well be across from all his emotional needs to communicate. And then he's got all this in Pisces. So I looked at that and it was like, okay, all right. But this is at 9 degrees. This number right here, 9. Neptune's at 9. Jupiter's at 10. Okay? And these are, so basically that's there. And you can go 30 degrees, 3, 6, 9 to here. It's 90 degrees. Because each sign is 30 degrees. So 3, 6, 9. So this is what's called a square. That's this red line right here. And that means there's some people think of squares as friction, or they can never get along, but actually what it is, it's like an overload. it's just like high tension, high powered, high powered lines. Oppositions can be an attraction because I'll throw this in very quickly as an aside. Why baby? Because you always ask great questions, especially with like Mars and Venus opposite each other. It's a really good aspect to have in heterosexual couples because that back and forth between Mars and Venus is what we call flirting. Anyway, so, but a square, it's just, so this expansion, this great big planet with the great big, storm and this huge thing is just all zappy with Neptune. You've got the ocean down here, and so that, and then 3, 6, 9. It's quite possible over here. You can think of the symbol for Gemini is a 2, the top and a bottom. I sometimes think of making it like a speaker because it's all about communication and speaking. So that's there. Excuse my bad drawing. So if this is in this area, or if he was born a little bit before noon, it would be be more exact. You've got this high power tension, like major overloading power through here. Okay? And this is, because this is square, so technically it's 90 degrees from each of these. These are opposite, all right? So that's going to be 90 degrees right there. This is called a T-square because you can kind of see that it's an angle, but it makes a T. And this angle, this 90-degree angle, is called a square. Okay, does that make sense? T-square, that's what this is called, where you've got 3 planets. You've got 2 that are opposite each other, and then 1 that is square to both of them. Okay, and this is really hard to live with until you learn to channel this energy, until you figure out how to harness the huge amounts of just energy, the overload that's flowing between these planets. And so it's good that he's taken this idea of Christianity. Also, Sagittarius here is the sign of higher wisdom. It's a sign of teaching. So you've got that, you've got communicating, you've got Jupiter, luck, expansion, and so he's got this going. So I thought it's like, all right, so that's what's going on here. Now, the problem is that it's a T-square. And not only is Jupiter up here, this massive planet, this huge expansion, it is, sorry, I just saw something about, oh no, that was something else. Okay, you've got Jupiter, and it's also trine this. This is Mars and Saturn. So this is sending lots of energy here. It's more gentle energy, but it just gives this expansion. So basically, when you have a T-square and you have Jupiter powering so much, it's the apex of this T-square. It's trine, his masculinity and making things take form. It's sextile, his sun, his very core self. The good side of Jupiter is open-mindedness, travel, understanding. And this is Jupiter in Pisces, which rules Christianity, religion, mysticism, also the arts and things like that. Oh, have to go. See you later. Thank you. But this can also be a blowhard. And that's kind of what I wanted to point out here. Because he's harnessed this energy, but you've kind of got this situation where he let me put it this way. I reached out my energy toward him because I thought maybe I'll do a reading on him. And I will not go into it now, but there's this whole thing about how I view the other side. And like we're at this level, and then it's almost like a floor above us, spiritual floor directly above us. Then there's our higher selves are like right there, and through that, and our guides are right above us, and they're talking to us and what have. That's how I picture it. Well, I pictured reaching out to him, but it's like instead of guides, it was like all like tinsely, glittery angels, and it was like, I mean, if someone's surrounded by angels, that's great, but it's kind of like this guy discovered he has guides and decided he's a prophet. What's across the chart from the apex is, well, there isn't anything direct. There might be a midpoint because this is 9-10, probably around 10. He's got his point of fortune. Well, maybe it depends on where this is, but he might have his point of fortune there, which would just make him lucky. So a lot of his energy dumping, but it's like he discovered we have guides and he decided that he talks to God. He is, he's kind of doing what we're doing on, like what I'm doing and what Linda G's doing and what Sienna's doing and what Kirsten Langston's doing. But he decided that he would be the face of it, and he would be, and also beliefs about Christianity. I was raised, I'm not Catholic anymore, but I was raised Catholic. And I will just say this. Jesus, Yahshua, he was kind of a spiritual hippie. Love thy neighbor more than thyself. If you are hit, turn the other cheek. It isn't turn the other cheek so you can reach to pick up your assault weapon. It's so that you can be, it's like, fine, you hit me once, hit the other side. It is, I mean, I've done my time in the uniform and Catholic schools and this, if you are supporting there being assault weapons on, that you can buy assault weapons and that you can cut money to food stamps and Trump can just be completely above the law and hurt whoever he wants, and they let you do it because you're famous. If you believe in all of that, you need to get Jesus' name out of your mouth. That's my opinion. My opinion. So, my point is that he's making money. And and he's making big money, and this is his thing. To that to try to get people to listen to their own intuitions, yeah, to listen to their own, perhaps their guides, perhaps to take on that, you know, other, you know, that extra information. That's good. But he's a prophet now. He gave himself this title, and he made himself important, and he supports Trump. So, yeah, it's just the angels around him, they feel very tinsel. So that's what I've got. So I just wanted to share that because I was like, I want to look at this guy's chart because this is a big article on Fox and Fox News, and they're talking about him more and more, and you know, yeah. So I wanted to see what was going on here. So I thought I would explain it to you guys, and I hope that helped. I will be very happy if I never have to think about this human being again for as long as I live. But yes, there are good and bad. There's good and bad to most things, except Nazis. Nazis are all bad. But Caucasian women who, you know, I'm Caucasian, obviously. Caucasian women who think they're above everybody else, you know, and you get the whole Karen meme. That's obnoxious and that's wrong. But Caucasian men who think that they've got spiritual insight and then they turn it into an ego fest. That's just check your privilege. And also, the point is that we're supposed to all be children of God, and it's not you, your face, you, and whoever's in power, prophesizing about celebrities, just celebrities and the most venal embodiment of the 7 deadly sins of a president that we have. So anyway, just wanted to throw that out there. Humility. Try a little humility. Anyway, but I hope you guys are okay. That's it for me. And I'll be back here tomorrow. And yeah, we're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep going. I'm going to read. We're going to contact our representatives. We are going to vote. And things are going to get better. All right? So, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everything. Thank you to our moderators. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. This is not possible without you. It really isn't. So, have a great day, everybody. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. All right, there are good days ahead. There are. Promise. Okay, bye-bye.